Oh, okay. So here's a description of Climax. You got it on your website. So Climax is a distributor of hard-to-find ephemera, periodicals, erotica, VHS tapes, anthologies and books on art, photography and counterculture that have often been overlooked. Now, counterculture is quite a broad world, I would say, and loads of hard-to-find stuff still feels, to me, kind of overlooked. Little Bambi.
You want to get in on the action?
Big girly. And is there stuff that you come across where you're like, how has nobody properly dug into this? Or I basically want to know, what are the things that you find underrated that I should know about?
I mean, I think sometimes it's like finding about a magazine or an artist or a photographer or a scene, like a subculture that you haven't heard of before, and wanting to go really deep into that. But sometimes it's like you find one thing and then it triggers this whole like month of researching. Like actually one of the things I brought is this magazine that I hadn't heard of before, but the editor of Top Stories, Anne Turin, who's like amazing, we kind of like became like friends, and she invited me to her home in New York and we went through like her archive, and this was one of the things that she then very kindly gifted me. But there's like so many like artists and photographers in here that I like hadn't heard of, and I was like, oh, I want to research like the photographer who took this image or understand this. So I think sometimes it's like, you know, this was just like, you know, like a magazine that, you know, was pretty like ephemeral in nature, but actually it maybe uncovers like a whole world of photographers or artists that I'm not familiar with.
Yes, and it's also kind of like the angry women?
Angry women, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God, exactly.
Yeah, it's like even with that, it's like there's so many great, like obviously there's ones I'm familiar with, like Lydia Lunch, Bell Hooks, Annie Sprinkle, but then there's so many more where you're like, oh, cool, I didn't realize the importance of this. And actually we did this, we have this video series at Climax called Under the Cover, and we did one with Kembra Fowler. And she spoke about like remembering when this came out, and like the publisher were in San Francisco, and she was like just speaking about like, she was like, I want to stay angry, like I really value my anger. And I thought like, that was just like kind of amazing thing. And what's very cool about this issue is Barbara S., who was the editor of Just Another Asshole, which was this kind of periodical series. This was from her personal library, and Anne Turin kindly got it for me at this like sale, which is very cool. So I feel very special that I have this copy of
your
it.
book collection must be insane. Can I have a look?
Yeah, please do.
I mean, even that first picture, I guess, right.
And then even the design, like the graphic design is really crazy. Yeah, and the back cover is amazing. It's like, yeah, it's like Carolee Schneemann like floating in the lake.
Every reference in here is so bang on. Oh.
And it's just one of those great, like, if you're trying to sort of understand a whole history, like you can kind of pick up that book, and like I go back to it constantly as like a reference point. It's not something that's like a one and done type book.
I just love books so much. So go on, tell us a story. So how did you get into books? Were you like young?
My dad is really like a crazy bookworm. Like you kind of like can't go like up the stairs at like the house I grew up in that they still live in South London without like kind of falling over some books. Like he really is like, he reads like a few books a week. Like he's obsessed. He doesn't have a mobile phone, which is maybe why he has the time to read.
Brilliant.
So I think I grew up around like books a lot. And then I just think as a, like early teenager, I was really obsessed with this idea of wanting to be an artist and a painter specifically. So I would just spend so much time in the kind of like art section of the library at my school. And I was lucky that the kind of, you get almost like assigned a classroom, and mine was like with the art teacher. So like a lot of the art books from the library were in our classroom, if that makes sense. So I would just kind of like sneak them home, or like go to the library and like I would just photocopy and scan all of these pages, and like didn't quite know why I was drawn to these different like artists, but I really was. And it was kind of that era of like YBAs and Sarah Lucas and Tracy Emin, and like I think seeing and understanding like that work like kind of blew my mind, that it's like, oh, this is what art could be. And I think I found that like so cool and inspiring.
Do you still paint?
No, like I feel like I sort of also maybe like quite obsessively was like so extreme with it, had these huge like crazy like size canvases, like bigger than the door, like really large scale, and then kind of like was like, okay, done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think you're more like what do you consider yourself as? Is it a curator?
I guess a little bit, but I find that word also like so pretentious. But I do think that is kind of the position I sit in, where you're kind of just like watching things culturally, and you're almost like kind of selecting like elements of culture and trying to tell new stories, and also like commissioning new things, and sort of trying to find the red threads of different cultural like things.
Right, Isabella. Okay, first of all, I've got something to tell you.
Yes.
This is really like kind of basic, but I have never done this, but I thought what a gorgeous present it would be if you like read a book, wrote in all your notes, and then gave it to a friend.
That's
or
a really
like
nice
a lover
idea.
or something.
Yeah.
Isn't that so beautiful?
Yeah, I also think like, I don't know, I think the way that people read and note take and like annotate their books is also a very like special thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
And so personal as
So
well.
personal, yeah.
Okay, let me try and word this properly. It's about curation. Okay, so last year I was writing this piece on this artist who's passed away.
Yeah.
And I got to go to the artist's husband's house to see like the collection. And he was a close friend of Lena Dunham's. Less well known, but oh my God, changed my life. Like his house was decorated so wacky.
Yeah.
Like he was so creative.
Yeah.
Like his references were so bang on. And I'd never heard of him before.
Yeah.
And it just made me think about, now let me word this right. It made me think about the people who sit just beside or behind the main figure.
Yeah.
We recognise as the artist.
Yeah.
You know, because I would naturally think as Lena Dunham as the genius.
Yeah.
But then there's someone like that guy that no one's heard of or hardly anyone's heard of, who feels like a genius in his own right too. And it made me think about these circle of artists who are surrounded by other quietly brilliant people.
Yeah.
And it made me think of you, like people, would you say this is right? People who are happy to work behind the scenes a bit more, but have this amazing curatorial eye.
Yeah.
And so it made me think, it made me think of this. Do you think people like that end up shaping culture as much or even more than the artists we actually put the spotlight on? It just made me think about Lena Dunham. I do think she's brilliant, and I read A Fame Sick. But then these artists are surrounded by incredible artists that are behind the scenes, such as yourself, that their references are so point on. I mean, his house was so wacky that also, like, I don't know, that's just so underrated.
Yeah. No, I definitely think like those people equally shape culture. It's so collaborative. And I think because like I really grew up in that magazine environment where it's very scrappy and there's so many different people working to make one thing that does need to have a really strong point of view, but it also reflects so many different voices. And so I think that's like so important.
Oh my God, I would love to get in your head just to like, you must have your knowledge of different artists, that would be so my vibe, that I probably haven't even heard of.
Yeah.
I would just love that superpower right now. And do you think good taste can be taught? Or do you even agree with that question? Is the good taste?
I just don't think like, I don't know even what like good taste is. I think taste is taste and it's really personal. And there are things like that someone that has good taste can also have like things that they're excited by that's like considered bad taste. And I think it's leaning into that.
Yeah.
I think it's just being sure and confident in your taste. And I think that does take a long time. And like, I think in my early 20s, I didn't really like trust my gut or my taste in things. But I think when I look back at work I was doing then, I'm like, oh, like that same reason why I'm drawn to this artist or this photographer, like that same reason is there. It's just your taste has evolved, or like you're more sure of yourself and like what your point of view is, and you have to like allow that to happen.
Also, Isabella, this is me being selfish, but when I find an artist that I love that's kind of underrated, I want to gatekeep it. But with Climax, I guess, you're basically showing everybody who your references are.
Yeah.
Do you still keep anything to yourself?
Not really, because I really think there's value in like sharing that information. And like, I just feel like I remember going to like I don't know, I remember going to like Donlon when I was like in my early 20s, and there was like this kind of bargain bin outside, and there was like one book that had Nan Goldin, Diane Arbus and Iraqi's work in it. It was like this pink book, and it had like very specific bodies of work from each of those three people that I was familiar with their wider body of work, but not like the specific ones that they were focusing on. And I remember seeing that, and that book like changing my kind of like perception of like these photographers' works, but also just like my taste. And like I was like, this is exactly what I'm into. And I think the idea that I would like hold that back from people just seems like wrong to me.
Yes. Did you basically save up money and then use it to open up Climax?
I didn't even like save, because I really think I probably did. I mean, it sounds like, I feel like I probably launched Climax with less than £1,000.
Whoa.
Because
wow.
Yeah, which was, and that was honestly just buying stock. And I had also finished like a big Helm consultancy, and I was really smart about saving that money. So yeah, it was like savings, but a lot of people are like, oh my God, you must have started it with like 20 grand, or a lot of people obviously take on investment, but it really started in such a like friends helping me out with the design and the website build and all of that. I mean, maybe it was a little bit more than 1,000 now that I think of it. Maybe it was actually more like 3,000, because now I'm thinking of like website design and stuff like that. But it started really like, it was just, low risk.
Can you talk me through those months when you were starting out in 2020? Like, how did it look? What did it look like? How did the idea pop?
It's funny because I feel like I had like a folder of reference images that I'd been sitting on for a long time that I imagined would at some point take the form of like the visual identity of Climax, and actually the cozy VHS. Like, am I scaring you?
Oh my God, that looks...
because it's also like this kind of pink, and it's like, this is obviously not the Climax pink, but this idea of like pink as confrontation.
Can I have a look?
Yeah, of course. And it was, like done on a hand, like tape recorder, and like only 160 were made, and this is number 42, and I got it on eBay because some woman's husband died and she listed it.
Oh my God.
I know. And it arrived in a black bin bag, which is so crazy.
Do you go down like loads of eBay rabbit holes?
Yeah, it's a lot. But I feel like there's less, like the stuff I feel like I could find then, like I probably got this in like 2018 or something. I don't know if you can find that stuff now. Like I think people know the value of things more, but I still think you can find great things on eBay, and I love it.
What's your relationship like with money? Are you kind of like fearless in a way? Like you said, you opened up those physical stores. You're like, come on, let's take the risk, do it. Is that kind of your approach?
No, I think I'm very and I don't know if it's like an English thing or a generational thing, but I'm always like feeling like I'm never going to make money, like I'm never going to like ever work again. I think I always have that fear, which is like actually really toxic, because I think it can make you very risk adverse. But with Climax, I think there were times where I could see the bigger vision. And I think I'm very lucky where my dad, as I said, like was an accountant. So I really like, like he's kind of like, he's like my partner with that stuff, where I'll call him and I'm like, I think I want to do this, and he's like, okay, what do you think it's going to cost? I'm like, I can do it for this. And I feel like, he, I think, grew up in a generation where it was like, you wouldn't start your own business and you would work for someone else for your entire life. So I can kind of hear and feel his presence of being like, oh, like, are you sure? It's kind of a lot of money, but I'm just like, I'm going to do it. I trust this. So it's this weird thing where I think I can be like, take risks. And it's obviously, I was only able to grow Climax because of putting my personal money in that I was making from working in the fashion industry into it. And obviously now it's great that it's like profitable and it can kind of like circulate a bit more in itself. I don't take a salary from Climax, so I do that from like consulting work, which also helps because it means any profits we have don't go to me. They go back into the business so that we can do more things.
Isabella. Gosh, it's funny how you kind of have an idea of someone and I don't know, you kind of have this glamorous idea of someone, and then actually the reality, it completely makes sense, is a lot of work and sacrifice in a lovely way.
Course,
and also, Isabella, you've got a line here, a quote that you said in Interview magazine, I think. And you said, I just didn't sit well with the education structure. Even when I went back and attempted to study art history a few years later, the same thing happened. There's something about the structure of it that I found frustrating. I prefer being in the real world, working and learning through experience. That's always suited me much more as a person. The excitement of what was coming next. It's always unpredictable. This reminds me of Clem,
Oh, really?
the founder of Worms, because she's very much like, just do it. Come on, learn as you go.
I also just think, there's so many people that are so scared to start anything.
Oh my God,
And it's not going to be perfect. If Climax, like if I started Climax thinking, oh, I'm going to have like these 2 stores and it's going to be this and I wouldn't have started it because it would have felt too scary to do. Whereas you just have to start somewhere and you have to just trust that it's going to develop naturally and organically into what you want it to be. But there were definitely times where like we had the New York store open and I was like, this is the vision of Climax. This is the design. This is the world. And then people would come to the old London store, which was this like kind of like little crusty office in Soho up these wonky stairs. And people would come in and be like, oh, this looks nothing like the New York store, like, and they would hold up a picture of like a wallpaper article and they're like, why doesn't this look like this? Because they would get confused with like the New York and the London store. And I felt really embarrassed. I was like, this is not my vision for the London store. But it took me so long to find the right space, even though not for lack of trying. Like I was looking for honestly a year straight and so many places fell through. But like those awkward things where you're like, oh, I don't almost want people to see the store because this is not like the vision. Even though other people would tell me, oh, it's charming and people love that it's like opposite to New York. But I think now knowing that I have like the London store at the level that I want it to be from like a design point of view, I'm just like, oh, this is it. People get it now.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Because when I went to the London one,
the old one,
I actually thought, oh my God, this is like, remember the stairs?
And everyone's like, so cool. And I'm like, I think I was just like so over it because I was like, everyone complained about the stairs. It was like the lighting was weird. I didn't really put any money into like doing it up because in my head I was like, oh, this is so temporary. I feel like the shelves were never full enough and like all of these things that I was always like, this is like not the vision, but eventually it was.
I love hearing that because a lot of people are like waiting for that perfect moment.
And it's awkward. It feels awkward. It feels really uncomfortable. And then I feel like I was even like negative with the team where I'm like, oh, I don't want to don't take any pictures of the London. We don't want to put that on. So like, where it's like, it then creates this kind of like, oh, so I think like, those periods where your vision and your ambition for your business or your brand isn't actually matching where you're at is incredibly uncomfortable and awkward, but you just have to trust you will get there and then you will block out those years or those months where it wasn't quite what you wanted it to be.
Oh, yes. Okay, Isabella, I'm going to do your angel card reading.
Okay.
But in the meantime, you must have so much gossip.
Oh my God, about what?
Because I remember you also saying, right, when you were working at Dazed, I think there was a cover with Pamela Anderson and designers didn't want to
loan
oh my God, and now it's like,
I know, it's so crazy. There were a few designers that did, like I remember Proenza, like Jack and Lazaro loaning, which was very cool. But I feel like, I mean, I can't remember the designers Emma would have asked, but it was like every big brand was like, no.
Why? Because she was seen as...
I think she was just seen as not like elevated enough. Wow. And I think she also hadn't really been back in the kind of like limelight, I guess. She'd kind of like taken a bit of a step back. So I think it was... and I think that also just shows like how ridiculous sometimes the industry can be, where it's like, it's so about like, oh, if someone gets a seal of approval, then suddenly everyone's into this. And when they're not, they're not. And it's like, that's where you're like, this industry can be so fake.
Oh my God, because sometimes I'd see interviews with her like now. And she was like, years ago, designers didn't want to dress me. And I've got to say, I was like, I wonder how true that is. But oh my God.
Really true. Yeah.
You got any juicy gossip for me?
I'm trying to think of anything. I feel like I actually like... literally don't.
Do you still get starstruck?
I do. It's funny because I feel like I've missed the last two like big celeb sightings in New York because I've been in London, but like Timothée Chalamet came in and then John Waters came in, which is like so cool. So I'm like, I feel like if I was there, I probably would have been like, and sometimes you just say like the weirdest stuff when people come in and you're like, why did I do that?
Do you feel proud of yourself, do you reckon?
Yeah, there are times where I really do. Yeah. I think it's really easy to be like very self-critical, and then, you know, there are times where I'm like, oh, why haven't we done more? Why haven't we done this? Why haven't we like grown this much? And it's like, you just have to be like, you have to trust that there's a reason, and there's kind of like a natural speed and a growth that the universe is like wanting for you. I think when you're very like, go, 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 do, like I want to like, I'm like, oh, I want to be here. And we're not quite there yet. But it's like knowing that stuff is coming.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
You said the universe. Do you believe in all of that stuff? Or?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, it's not that I believe in like a God, but I kind of trust that things do happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Even if it's really hard to accept them, you have to just trust that you've put in enough of the work, and you've kind of like, you're a good enough, kind enough person that like, if something is meant to happen, it's meant to happen. And if it's not, there is a reason, and you have to just like not overthink it.
Yeah. Do you believe in like manifestation and all that, or do you roll your eyes at it?
I don't know, because I think I don't know, because in a way, I guess I probably have been manifesting Climax, because you think, you dream up these things, you put in the time, you put in the work, you make the infrastructure for then it to be successful. But it's not like I sort of like put a vision board together, or like, but I guess I sort of maybe have been doing that naturally by like screenshotting things on my phone and building stuff. So I don't know. I feel like I probably have, hello.
Little Bambi.
Little Bam's sleeping. Where it's like, I don't know. What's your relationship with it?
I do believe in it.
Yeah.
But I think it's very complicated.
Yeah.
I hate that word. Like,
yeah, I think it's just like a kind of cringy like word, and it makes me like, but I guess in a sense, like if you have an idea and you want to do something and you're putting that energy out in the world and starting to do it.
Yeah.
But I also don't believe you can like sit and be like, I'm going to dream this up without taking the active steps to do it. And I think that is like really unhealthy for people to think like, oh, if I just manifest this, it's going to happen. It's like, to do anything is such hard work, and you have to sacrifice so much, and you have to give so much, and you have to like push, even when like, you know, your team or people around you are just like, oh no, like you have to keep pushing. You have to be like so ferocious, and you also have to make a lot of difficult decisions. Like I've hired people for Climax that I really thought were going to work out, and they didn't, and it's really hard to let people go. And I think you can do it in a really kind, I think you can do it in as kind a way as you can, but it's still ultimately a really difficult decision, and those things are uncomfortable, and I don't particularly love confrontation. But I also know if I don't make those decisions, you know, I'm not going to walk in to work, and it's also going to affect my team, because they need to be around other people that are equally inspired and excited to be there and show up at work every day. And if you have people that aren't excited to be there, that's really like toxic for other people.
Gosh, yeah. Are you in therapy at all?
Yes, I do it every week.
Oh, brilliant.
I have it this afternoon.
That probably helps you like communicating those things.
It does. And I think actually like, I feel like I almost restarted therapy for like a specific relationship thing, and then it's ended up being something where like, yeah, I can be like, oh, this is not working with this person, like, you know, things that like are just more work things that you almost don't think about.
Yeah. Do you want to start shuffling?
Okay, so how does this work?
Okay, so basically you need to ask the universe something.
I don't even know what my answer is. My question.
Is there anything you've been worried about?
Everything.
Okay, that's okay. It could be a general joking. One.
I feel like... Okay, so I just pick any card.
Here. And see which one like pops out for you.
This one.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
okay.
No.
So it's called a creative project.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to read the whole thing. Okay. I'm going to open it up in my book.
These are so pretty.
Okay. It's saying your soul's purpose is to express itself in all kinds of different creative ways. Mm-hmm. The angels are guiding you to fill your life up with art and creativity. Creative expression makes you feel alive, and it like renews your energy and passion for life.
That's so crazy.
This card is telling you that you need freaking heck. It's saying you need more expressions of creativity.
Oh my God, how much more can I get?
Open another Climax.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, it's saying, for example, write.
Oh, interesting. I do want to start my own. I have a personal Substack that I haven't launched yet. And that's like, I'm taking like a week off in June and I want to just spend time working on that, which is not really taking a week off. But okay, so maybe this is a little...
It's also saying play music. If you want to start a band, I'd be up for that.
Oh my God, I'm like, have no relationship with music. That's so crazy.
This is really random, but your hair always looks so red, and when I used to have red hair,
it's
that
so
thing would come out.
I know. I do get it redone like every 3 or 4 weeks, and
right.
I actually don't top it up that much at home anymore. I also don't wash my hair too often.
Right.
I try and do it like just once or twice a week.
Good. Thank you so much for
Thank you. This was so nice.